The Lost Rose of Liora. Long ago, in a hidden valley surrounded by silver mountains, there lay a village called Liora, a place where dawn always seemed to last a little longer and where the air carried a soft scent of blooming roses. At the heart of this valley grew a single, extraordinary rose. Its petals shimmered with colors that changed with the light, crimson at sunrise, gold at noon, and violet at dusk. The villagers called it the Heart of Dawn, believing it was a gift from the goddess of light herself. The rose was said to hold the spirit of hope within it. As long as it bloomed, Liora would never fall into despair. The people tended their gardens, sang songs of gratitude, and their days passed in peace. But peace, like petals, can be fragile. One fateful winter night, as the snow fell without end, a cold wind unlike any before swept through the valley. The stars hid, the moon dimmed, and when morning came, the sacred rose was gone. Only its silver thorns remained, frozen in the ground like shards of sorrow. Panic filled the hearts of the villagers. Without the rose, crops began to wither, the air grew heavy, and laughter slowly vanished from their days. Some said thieves from beyond the mountains had stolen it. Others whispered that the gods had taken it back. But one girl refused to believe it was gone forever. Her name was Liora, a quiet, curious soul with eyes the color of dawn. Her mother had once been the caretaker of the rose before illness took her away. On her deathbed, she told Liora, "The heart of dawn never truly dies. It only hides when people forget how to love." Those words stayed with her. So, one cold morning, Liora wrapped herself in a faded cloak, took her mother's old lantern, and left the valley to find the lost rose. Her journey led her through forests of whispering trees and across frozen rivers where moonlight danced on the ice. The farther she went, the quieter the world became, as if even nature was holding its breath. On the third night, as she rested by a dying fire, a raven landed beside her. Its feathers shimmered with a faint blue glow. You seek what was never lost, but to find it, you must first remember. Before she could ask what that meant, the raven dropped a silver petal at her feet and vanished into the dark. Liora held the petal close to her heart. It felt warm, alive, as if pulsing with faint light. She knew she was on the right path. Days turned into weeks. In an abandoned garden buried beneath snow, she met an old gardener who was once the protector of the rose. His hands were trembling, his eyes clouded with guilt. He confessed, "I failed it. The rose faded because our hearts did. People stopped believing in beauty they could not own." He gave Liora a tiny vial filled with golden dust. "When you find it," he said, "breathe life into it with this, but only if your heart is still pure." The Forgotten Temple. At last, her journey brought her to the edge of the world, where mountains touched the sky and silence felt eternal. There, hidden among the cliffs, stood a ruined temple made of white stone. Inside, the air shimmered faintly with light. At the center of the temple was a shallow pool of still water, perfectly clear. Beneath the surface, resting as if asleep, was the lost rose. Its petals were dull, its glow fading, but it was still there. Liora knelt by the pool, tears welling in her eyes. She realized the rose had not been stolen. It had withdrawn into the quiet heart of the world, waiting for someone who still believed in love, kindness, and beauty without reward. She whispered softly, "You're not lost. You were just waiting for us to remember you." Then she opened the vial and let the golden dust fall upon the water. The pool rippled with light. Slowly, the rose began to glow again, faintly at first, then brighter and brighter until the entire temple was bathed in warmth. The petals opened, releasing a radiant wave of light that swept across the valley, melting snow, reviving trees, and stirring birds to song. When Ilara returned to Liora, spring had already arrived, earlier than ever before. The villagers found their gardens blooming again, and in the center of the square stood a new rose bush, more beautiful than words could describe. Ilara smiled. She knew now that the true magic of the rose was never in its petals, but in the hearts of those who remembered what it stood for. From that day on, the people of Liora planted roses in every garden, every window, and every heart, so that no dream and no love would ever be lost again.